Purple. Purple.
It's like it was perfect for Thor. It should have been
650. Yeah. No, you're still streaming. Can you still stream and make those adjustments? Will it stay?
maybe. Say purple again, Dad.
Purple.
It's so unbelievably close.
Purple.
Like, now it's after.
Say purple again. One more time, Dad.
Purple.
Yeah, now the audio's after. Say it again.
Purple.
No, it's still off just a little bit. 550. Okay. Why not?
Purple.
Yeah, now the audio's coming out after now.
I lowered it by 20 milliseconds.
Say purple.
Purple.
That basically good. Double check. Just see how we're talking with each other. See if it's weird.
Check mom. Yo.
Sorry for these technical issues. I guess we can just keep continuing though.
Are we actually live?
Yeah, we are live.
We've been live the whole time?
Yeah, we have to be to test this.
Oh.
This is a new
Everyone's
program.
been hearing you say purple a bunch.
Oh, purple is very exciting.
Yeah, purple. Is it pretty good, baby?
Trying to see.
These are the kind of things you have when you do a podcast with multiple cameras and a whole bunch of mics. If you got one guy standing in front of one camera, yakking away at about whatever, you don't have these issues. But when you start adding all the things, which we will and add more when we have other people talking from either in the studio or outside the studio. So these things have to be corrected. And we have pretty good internet here too, in our little world. So it's not the internet. It's using multiple software packages all together, all trying to work together.
Oh, it's delaying a lot less now.
So I don't know what new things I could tell you while we're waiting.
Parsec.
It was parsec.
It was parsec.
It was Parsec?
Parsec, unfortunately, is causing the issue.
Oh. So what do we want to do? Because you have Parsec, you have to reconnect Parsec, right? As soon as you disconnected Parsec, everything was working. So why don't... No, Parsec's not going to matter whether it's on this monitor or that monitor, right? It's still Parsec or not. What happens if we skip the Parsec and just know what we're doing?
Then we're good.
Yeah. We won't get to watch the things that are happening, though.
Yeah, unless we have one really long HDMI again, but
We don't have one.
next time.
We don't have one this second. So what do we do?
Next time.
So what do we do?
Wait. Wait. Wait a minute. I'm a genius. You have a Chromecast, don't you?
Shane's using it upstairs.
Damn it.
Is it 4 o'clock yet?
It's 4:03.
Then she's not using the Chromecast anymore.
I'll be right back.
You better knock on the door first, because she was
Just talk to the audience. Will Prophet has her.
she was doing a Nia 2 to 4 dance thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Nia, is anybody hearing me? Are we live? Tay?
We are live, but it's not
Okay, so I'll explain what Nia is. Nia is a type of dancing and exercise. It's mixed with it's more complex than that. But people who were dancers when they were young, and I'm talking about whether it's jazz, dance, ballet, things like that, different type of dance. You get to a certain age, and it happens quick for women because you only have so many outlets for dancing like that. They really don't have anything else. So what Nia is it's a way of, they have all kinds of dance and movements, just like regular dance that you learn, like I said, whether it's jazz or different types of dance. And they learn all these different movements and all these steps that they take. I think there's 54 movements or 56 movements. I should know enough things about this at this point. And so they learn all these different routines, and they work together, and there's studios in towns across the United States you can go to. One is in Santa Fe. Phoenix has a studio, and they have different places. But because of the whole COVID thing, people were doing this online. So she has these classes that she's doing online with other people from around the United States and across, like in Europe. And that's what she's doing up there, doing her 2-hour deal with other people across the United States, all doing the same class together until they can finally have classes where they can put everybody in the same room, which hopefully should be like right now. I mean, realistically.
right now.
Right now.
Like realistically, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 now.
Right now. Yeah. Like right now, because I think we're all starting to figure this COVID thing out. The ones that will admit it or not, but it should be right now. But until, everybody comes to agreement with that, they'll have to dance
People can see.
different ways and not dance in the studios together, which is kind of sad because I think that's part of the whole deal with it. Wow, there's a picture of something in Monument Valley. Either that or it's just a painting or a combination thereof. Because it's definitely not in Sedona. Sedona doesn't look like that. There's other things around it. It's not. So it looks like an odd Monument Valley angle. There's a road with snow. We're glad there's no more snow. We're sick of it. Tired of the snow, because with the snow brings colder weather and wind, and it's not the snow that's the problem. It's the weather around the snow that's the problem, and your inability to go from point A to point B because of the snow. Oh, that's a pretty shot. I'm not exactly sure where that is, but that's pretty nice. That could be a lot of places. That could be in somewhere like Greenland, more like Iceland or New Zealand, or even some places in the United States. Next picture, please. They don't come up. Oh, that wasn't a picture. That's just random stuff that I can't read because it's too small. It's too small. It's always too small. Well, it has to fit the screen though, right? Because if you made it any bigger, that you'd be missing some of the characters on the left side if you blew it up. Up there's the Bic Raven site. That's pretty exciting. Oh, which falls were those?
I don't know. It shows up random stuff.
That's the ones. Aren't those the ones that are in South America? In God,
All right.
Brazil. Just kidding.
I'm just
I don't know what
blanking
you're
out.
talking about.
For desktops.
because the falls face each other. That's very unusual.
That is the now wireless HDMI.
It is.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, you took the Chromecast thing.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
great. So
All right.
So it's running, and is there a delay?
No.
Okay.
A natural delay, not as bad as before.
Oh, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're ready to go again.
We're ready to
Yes.
go.
Do I need to repeat anything that I said, or we've been streaming the whole time?
We just been.
We've
What
been,
have we
we've
even
been
talked
streaming,
about yet?
like for a little while.
Well, no, we just started talking about DaVinci.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we talked about DaVinci. We were using Premiere, just to catch anyone up that didn't get to see it. This is also for the YouTube video. We were using Premiere, and we decided to switch the program because it wasn't working out for us. Even though we were very heavy advocates for Premiere for years, but it just wasn't working out, and it was just being a little slow on our systems, and so we switched to DaVinci Resolve. Even though Premiere is now finally becoming the industry standard, but now we notice it just doesn't work with our machine well, and DaVinci does.
And it's not just our machine. It just seems like, you watch other people, and we have certain guys that we watch that do regular technical YouTube videos on products in our industry, and all of them are switching over to DaVinci. Now, some of them still like Final Cut, and some of them we're going to use Adobe for a lot of different things because it still has great value to us.
Yeah.
Especially, the audio side and some of all the specialty side, like After Effects.
Yes.
You can't beat Photoshop. I mean, Photoshop is just
Photoshop is the best
Oh, yeah.
program out there.
right. It's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
So for doing those type of works, as we do photography too, along with our commercial work, because you always need photography. So it's still a good program, but DaVinci has been the deal, and that, of course, is why I was mentioning that we were delayed in not being able to do our podcast, because we were just hammered down with just trying to make the decision, check thing to thing, and see what happened was we shot a bunch of footage, which is about 8 segments in the second episode for Your Neck of the Woods. And as we're going into the second segment, which is the zoo, and it's very long, we literally had to redo the entire thing. And how long is it going to end up being, this particular segment?
I don't want to give an exact time, but it's probably going to be around 35 to 45 minutes.
Right. It's longer than we intended the whole show to be with all the segments. So it's going to be its own part 1 of the episode 2, because there's just a lot of valuable stuff in it. It was good stuff, and they, the zoo's interesting, the animals are interesting.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really, really good stuff, and we want to make sure we include it in there. But with that, when you're editing that much footage, that much stuff, and having all the B-roll that goes with it, it's an issue where if you're going to make a change, you had to can weeks of work that you've already done and start all over again. You do have a memory of the cuts you made, where you play certain things that you want or you didn't want, but still it has to be done. It has to be physically done, and that time and it takes to physically do it, it's a lot of time to redo everything. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
we're in the process of doing that. We're in the process of finishing it. You said something, Tay?
Oh, I was agreeing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and what we also discovered is that the audio program, their Fairlight, isn't quite as good as.
Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time doing
It
that.
does
And-
require heavily on outsourced plugins.
Yeah. A lot of them, like Isotope, was the recommended from Curtis Judd, who is a
Phenomenal YouTuber.
yeah. He's got a great channel, and he talks about light and sound production, especially on the sound. He does some things with light, and he's good at that, but his sound production is very deep, and he recommends using Isotope with a Fairlight to make that thing run smooth. But I've already got invested in all these other things, and we've been working with Adobe Audition very well, and we can do our corrections and things like that within that. But we'll be looking at using Fairlight down the road with some of our episode and other commercial work as we go along. So this will be a growing thing, and as we get into that and people are interested in that type of thing, we'll segment out our podcast, and if we talk about that, we'll find if somebody's interested in just what did they do when they decided to switch over to DaVinci and use Fairlight. What VST plugins did they use?
Yeah.
And we'll talk about those plugins and things like that. But we're early in the stages yet, so we've got to actually get this work done. So I don't want to experiment too much when I don't have to. What we want to do is get the job done. And we're going to talk and show some of these clips because there's some really great clips for the show.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But I want to talk about a couple other things that we over the last couple of weeks, and you can talk about something you've learned too, or Tay, also you've learned over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, the Da Vinci is one, but it could be something outside of that. And one of the things I learned, and it's something we don't talk about very much because we try to be very apolitical, but it's the term virtue signaling. Virtue signaling, which is basically, they're using it now and talking about virtue signaling for people trying to look virtuous by wearing masks outside or some areas where you don't even need them. They're not even effective. Yeah, they're trying to look virtuous. So it's called virtue signaling. And the definition of virtue signaling is this: the action or practice of publicly expressing opinions or sentiments intended to demonstrate one's good character or moral correctness, one's position on a particular issue. It's noticeable how often virtue signaling consists of saying you hate things. So a lot of times people will wear something or say something that's virtue signaling, saying I'm like this and I don't like that. But that is a common thing, and that's right out of a regular old.
That's like any other
Webster
that's like
type.
a T-shirt could be that.
Right, but in this case, we're talking about basically masks. Okay?
So it's the same thing, but
It's
on a
virtue.
mask.
But no. A mask. Yeah, I am wearing a mask, and I am virtuous, and you're not wearing one, so you're not. And that's what virtue signaling is.
So you're going to hell.
So right, exactly. So there's a cartoon that goes along with virtue signaling, and it shows this one dog wearing a big coat that covers his whole body, and on the side, it says vegan and cat lover, and behind him is a whole bunch of dogs yelling at him who say virtue signaler. So this whole virtue signaling thing is apparently a big deal. And here's the right. Well, that's why I'm saying it, because it's a common thing that people are using. Virtue signaling goes back to the Victorian era, where people were wearing longer skirts and being sexually repressed and saying we were more morally correct. Okay, religiously and morally correct. There it is. There's the cartoon right there.
I was trying to pull it up.
Thank you. And in the Wikipedia, if you go down below that cartoon, go down just a little bit. I don't know how many times. Oh no, that's something different. Okay.
It's not Wikipedia.
Okay.
It's the website that this.
No, I got it. So let me read this then. Virtue by Wikipedia. Virtue signaling is a pejorative negalism for when one expresses a moral disingenuous viewpoint with the intent of communicating good character. In other words, it's disingenuous, but they pretend, or they're just saying, I'm better than you because I'm doing this, which is a common thing. But back then, like in the Victorian period, they were virtue signaling longer dresses, different things, saying, we're sexually repressed. We're morally better than you people who don't do it. And that kind of stuff has been going on. But today, and the reason I'm bringing this up, I'm sitting downtown, okay?
Why do people care?
Yeah, right. I'm sitting downtown in Flagstaff at the corner of Aspen and I guess it's Beaver?
Yeah.
Probably Beaver?
Probably.
That's where the, what's that one hotel? Starts with a W right at the corner.
Monte Vista?
No.
Oh, Weatherford.
The Weatherford. Where the Weatherford is, and diagonal to it is a new restaurant. Just got in there 2 weeks ago. It's a new steak burger place, Maggie's or something like that.
Heard of it.
Yeah, well, it used to be another place, but that closed, and now that's that.
Okay.
And they didn't get their liquor license yet, but they're serving sodas and food. And they got outside tables. And I had Romeo, that's a dog, and Mickey, that's another dog.
Yeah, Maggie was another dog.
Yeah, right. And Mickey, and so I had those two dogs. So my wife and I had to sit outside anyway because of the dogs and eat, and I wanted to sit outside because it was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So we're outside sitting there diagonally as that hotel, and they have a second, really a third, or I don't know what floor that is, where they have that whole wraparound porch.
Yeah.
And people stand out there and talk and everything and yell and stuff, and it's common. Okay, so there's guys up there, and they've been drinking a few beers at least. I could tell. Maybe there was a wedding or something, because it is Saturday, because a lot of weddings over there. And anytime somebody would come by wearing masks just walking around outside.
guessing there's
They're
screen
not
out there.
inside. They're outside.
Yeah.
Walking around with a mask
Yeah.
on, which is there's no function to it at all. It's just dumb.
Yeah.
And because there's no scientific argument for that. It's just stupid.
The one that I find just really dumb is having a mask in a car.
That's by yourself.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that always makes me laugh.
I know they're just becoming stupid. They're
Paranoid.
but they're virtue signalers saying I'm better than you. So these guys would stand up there and yell at the people wearing the masks as they went by
Or like college
with different knives.
Or
I don't know. They were younger guys, but younger as in mid 20s, like your age, or maybe a little older, not much.
So I've had.
I
people
thought that
come in
was
before.
great. It was just funny to watch.
what are you saying?
I've had people come in before and they wear a mask with another mask over that mask.
Come into the restaurant where you were.
Yeah. So like,
Thank you.
they have the mask, and then they have another mask over that and a face shield.
Right. And one of the times they yelled, somebody was wearing a triple mask. And
Oh my
they yelled triple masks up there at these people that they were going by. They're all laughing.
How do you breathe?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't
literally.
I can't breathe with a one mask.
I can't, seriously.
I can't stand it.
I can for a bit.
The whole thing's stupid. The size of the COVID-19 is nano size. It goes through any holes of any mask.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The masks don't work. And anybody that says they do, and this is science, they're lying because it's not true, and it's provable absolutely that the masks don't do anything. What they do is they force you to breathe your own crap in your lungs, which isn't good. And that's why I was really sad for people who work indoor during the winter at
It
clubs.
would work
You had to wear them.
in this regard. It works in the regard of it doesn't cause as much, like instead of being a leaf blower,
Yeah,
going
right.
going out, it keeps it in more of a contained area. That's the scientific proof.
Well, that's what they think, but it still goes through the holes.
It goes through the holes, but it's not as much.
Maybe, I don't know. But when it comes to things like that, it doesn't take much to infect.
Oh
someone.
well, at least it's all kind of dying down. Actually,
Yep.
Like, speaking of that, what's
Oh,
the
yeah.
next? What's the next topic? Is Godzilla or is it Justice League? I know we're talking.
It's
about
Godzilla, but I want to talk about a couple other things.
Okay.
So anyway,
I just wanted to mention the reason I say that is because I got to see it in theaters and it was great.
Right.
So,
Oh
and
my
both
gosh.
Godzilla and King Kong, neither of them were wearing masks, and there are some heavy breathers right there.
well, you never know.
So anyway, it's baseball season, and I noticed in the baseball games, they're finally getting fans in the stands. They have like a limited, I don't know what the percentage is, depending upon the stadium. They have a certain percentage of people where they can separate them, but at least they're in it. But I promised myself this year that I would follow, because I'm a Philadelphia Phillies fan, and I'd follow a little bit more than I did the last year, which was a real bummer year. Plus the statistics. Baseball's all.
I haven't been following them at all. How are
know.
they doing?
Phillies are 5-3. They lost. They were doing great, but they just lost 2 games to the Braves in Atlanta, and now they're playing another game. But it's a long season, so we'll see how they pan out. But I've also followed the Angels. I'll follow the Milwaukee Brewers a bit. I'll follow a few other teams, and I like them. I like the Yankees, so because I've followed the Yankees for years. But the
So you
Philadelphia
do like the
Phillies-
Yankees?
Oh yeah, big time. But-
Isn't the Yankees the #1 competitor to the Phillies, though?
No. They're American League.
Oh yeah, they're the other league.
Right.
Okay.
So you don't follow it at all.
No, I'm bad at
Yeah.
baseball. I don't follow baseball.
But baseball's all about statistics. So you have this weird year last year where you have all these, like the home run champ hit, I don't know how many home runs, not many, because they didn't have the games to do it. So the statistics are all warped out and goofy looking. The batting averages are horrible. It's nothing really to look at. It's kind of like a lost year. And now it's back. So I promised myself I would follow a lot more and got to know these players, because if you step away from any of these sports, and it seems especially baseball, you lose touch quickly with the players that are on the teams. Switch teams. There's just a lot of new players. Other players are gone. Pitchers, things like that. I mean, the Dodgers are easier to follow. They have some of the same lineups. Certain teams do, but a lot of them have changed. So I'll be talking about the Phillies on and off through these podcasts as we go through, because I'm hoping they have a good year this year because last year was a bust. Big bust year. A lot of money spending and not much results.
I'm only looking forward to the Golden Knights.
Golden Knights, yeah.
Woo,
Well, they're.
hockey.
I mean, we are getting close to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're really good this year.
I know they are.
They're really good.
They're back.
I know. Well, it's the same with the Las Vegas Raiders too. I hope the Raiders do well, and because of where we are, we can root for Arizona teams as much as we can root
For Vegas teams,
Vegas
about the same
team.
length away.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I always liked the Oakland Raiders.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
They were on TV a lot,
Hmm.
and so I got to watch them. So I got to know the team versus teams that aren't on TV a lot. And at that time, there's only a few channels you could watch that sports on. So that's just the way it is. So
We had an intruder.
yeah, we had an intruder. And we waved her off. She didn't realize she wasn't supposed to come in the studio, but she didn't. She probably just wanted to go into our studio refrigerator and take stuff.
Yeah, there you go.
So we stopped her from doing that.
No stuff for you.
No stuff for you. So that's one thing. Baseball is new. I want to just talk about some new things. But anything new that with you the last week or two?
Well, we had Easter.
Oh yeah, right.
It was really warm, and not really too much, honestly. Besides seeing both Justice League and Godzilla and a new show that came out called Invincible.
Well, I got to see my sister.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
yes. Yes.
Oh.
Invincible.
Yeah, Invincible's really good. But yeah, you got to see your sister.
I got to see my sister, and I got to see my two nieces. One's in Texas,
Aw.
and one lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. Which I could see her more because she lives down there. But my sister lives in Pennsylvania, and she flew out, and they all got together because my niece, her name is Carrie, and she is getting married to a guy named Josh, who seems like a great guy.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a happy union, and they're getting married next March. So anyway, my sister got to meet the mom, Josh's mom.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they did some
Did all the
wedding lights,
mingling.
I guess so. Whatever that was, and I got a chance to get together with everybody just for dinner and for lunch the next day when I was over.
That was during
last,
Easter too.
last
though.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was during Easter weekend. So that was pretty good.
It
The
was
weather.
hot. You were in Phoenix, right?
Yeah, the weather was warm in Phoenix, but I like it that way.
Yeah, I know you do.
Took a bike out.
You took Mickey though. I
Hey,
big guarantee he was
nice.
melting, which is the dog.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I had Mickey. He doesn't like the warm. He's a mixed poodle and terrier.
Yeah, something like
He's
that.
like a 22-pounder
Yeah.
and real sweet, cute dog. But he doesn't really like the hot weather. Can't handle it very well. Likes the cooler weather. And so so we just we were just careful with him. Kept him indoors or in cooler areas when we could. We also did something interesting, and that's what I wanted to mention.
Huh.
We went to this, and I can't remember the name of the place now, and I'm blanking out. But it's in Scottsdale, and you go in there, and they have all these different therapies, okay? We went into the salt cave therapy, where you sit in this salt cave with salt floors and salt walls.
Okay.
These blocks, I guess with
lot of
music
salt.
or whatever. A lot of salt, but it's a salt therapy.
Okay.
But they have all these different machines for all these different specialty therapies that you do, including a hyperbaric chamber, and not your typical thing where you just go in a chamber and it's kind of claustrophobic. This actually has multiple huge, comfortable chairs that you sit in this giant room of a hyperbaric chamber.
Oh, that's an expensiver one. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like the real ones.
I guess, but they said there's only like 2 in Arizona, and there's not many anywhere like that kind of size.
Yeah. No.
With
It's
the hyperbaric chamber.
That's rare.
And all these things are they have different things that's supposed to affect your body and help you heal quicker or balance yourself out. It just depends on what they're
I heard it's
having.
just really good for meditating and stuff too.
It could be. It could be.
Just stuff like that too.
Right. So that was interesting. And I'll look up the name of the place. It's like Quantum something or other. What I could look. Quantum. Scottsdale. Hopefully it'll pop up. The quantum group. Nah. Quantum jobs. Jeez. They use quantum for so many things.
Quantum. Well, that's a physics.
Quantum something or other. Quantum.
Is it the Healing Harbor?
No, it is not. It's called quantum something or other.
The spa. Scottsdale.
No. It's not a spa.
Quantum Pacific? Quasar Quantum Healing?
Quasar.
Quasar. So they have two Q's.
So this
Double
lady,
Q.
Q.
I'm debating. I talked to her about it when we do
Q.
Scottsdale
Yeah.
for your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
The lady's story is her daughter, who is now middle teen. She's going to high school. Over at that Verde High School, that high-end high school in the village of Oak Creek.
Yes.
Out that road, you pass the elementary school and you just keep going until it becomes a dirt road.
Yeah.
Then you can go to the creek.
Mhm.
But instead of going to the creek, you go to the left, and that's where the school
Oh, the
is.
boarding school.
The boarding
Right,
school.
right.
It's also it's either a prestigious.
It's called the Verde.
Either a prestigious school or a bad kid school.
No, it's a prestigious school.
Oh, okay.
It ain't cheap. But anyway, she spent years chasing around. Her daughter had all kinds of physical problems, a lot of mental problems,
I see.
and couldn't get it corrected, and nobody had answers, and they kept giving her, psychiatrists would give her drugs instead of trying to solve the problem.
Yeah.
So she found somebody in Utah that was doing some of these healing things, and straightened her out.
Oh.
I mean, like dramatically, like all the way.
Oh wow.
Right. So she decided, and she spent a few years at least doing this and a lot of money chasing this thing around to try to figure out how to fix her daughter. So she got her fixed, and they have her in the school, and things are good. But she decided this stuff isn't around. She's going to make a building, get a building, which they have a phenomenal building. You don't have that thing on it. What is that called again? It's not quantum. It's quasar.
Quasar quantum.
Quasar quantum. Okay. They have this building where they have all these different healing things, and you go in, you can get this kind of treatment and that kind of treatment and this. And I haven't nailed down really one of the treatment rooms. I didn't understand. They have this red light machine that's supposed to, if you put it at different kilohertz levels, it does different things. And it's interesting. But they have science-based. They have a theta chamber, which is really interesting. And there's plenty of science-based stuff and plenty of I got to believe in it stuff, so where like hyperbaric chambers, that's proven, but where it begins and where it ends, I'm not sure. But
what is fully scientifically proven? What's not?
Right.
Yeah.
The LED light bed
It
therapy.
says some of them on here.
Yeah, the LED light bed therapy is one I really question because I haven't. It's not that people don't use these things for certain things. It's just that they have a wall chart up for all these kilohertz that you do, and you set it on different things for different results. Okay, and I have yet, and I've been reading about this like in detail with these people who make these machines. There's cheaper ones, better ones, whatever. So I go to the really good ones, whatever, and they have. They don't have the charts, and they're not talking about the kilohertz and it cures this, and if you set it at this, it cures that. So I don't know where that's coming from, where's the scientific proof for that stuff. So I want to learn more about this, but if a lot of this stuff all pans out and it looks like, now I understand the salt room therapy is more of a meditative thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a different thing. And they've got a yoga room. They do yoga. They have yoga classes and things like that. But there's definitely something to most of everything that they have there, okay? And she would be an excellent interview, telling her backstory.
Yeah, we should try for
talking about that. No, she's interested.
Yeah, we should. Oh, she is?
Yeah, because I talked to her and her husband about it, and they'd probably be good as maybe one of the Scottsdale segments that we would do.
Oh, okay.
Because the building is beautiful.
Rad.
Oh.
The building is beautiful. It's in a great area. It's like you walk up to this building and you say, holy crow, this thing's big. And it's really unusual architecture.
Yeah.
It looks like something out of somewhere else, not what you'd expect. So anyway, that was something I learned too over last weekend while we were bopping around Phoenix. We did have kind of 2 weekends in a row down there as we go watch the weather get warm.
Yeah, you were going down there a lot recently.
Yep. It's nice when you can escape the cold. Sometimes the only place you can get the real weather is right here in the studio.
Oh yeah, right here
Right
here
here,
in our
perfect.
studio where it's all.
So anything new for you over the last week or so, Tay? Hello.
Spence and I celebrated our anniversary.
Oh yeah, our 3-year anniversary.
Oh, well, that's something.
Yeah.
So what did you do?
We went out to eat and we stayed home and watched movies. We saw Justice League.
Oh, that was Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That was the night we saw
That is a
Justice League.
long.
It's a 4-hour movie.
Yeah.
4-hour movie.
All right, and that's going to be
4-hour
one of the things we talk about. So I'll tell you what, if you want to, let's get into the first thing that we want to talk about, and this will be a lot of Tay and Spencer talking about Godzilla versus Kong.
Yes, big monkey versus
But
lizard.
before we give our opinion, I want you to go back. We've got 2 different things. Hey, hang on, wait.
I didn't mean to click it.
That's okay.
It's okay.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay.
We're just
you
hearing
got
the.
Godzilla versus Kong, and then and then we're going to talk about it a little, and then I want to play the movie review from Stuckman, because all these people like to bash movies, like they expect these movies to be, I don't know, some cinematic, fantastic movie with the greatest cinematography and depth and writing. That's not what a Godzilla versus Kong movie
I think
is
we should
about.
watch the Stuckman ones first to start with a positive kind of thing, because he did look at. I think we should look at both of the Screen Rants, even though you don't have the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League Screen Rant. He also has one.
Oh, he does?
Yes. So I
Okay.
think we should both look at both.
Well, we'll do that. Well, then Taste, do what Spencer said. Start with Chris's movie review, which I find to be very refreshing and balanced.
Yeah, of Godzilla versus King Kong.
All right, but before we watch it, I just want to say we saw it in theaters and at home, and it is so much
We
beautiful.
did see it at home first. Yeah, definitely see it in
If
theaters.
you want to
can.
see this movie, see it in theaters.
Yeah,
It's
very recommended.
remarkable.
The shots in that movie.
Well, we'll hear your opinion. You'll be walking
Yeah.
us through it.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead.
Godzilla vs. Kong is directed by Adam Wingard, and as you might expect, is a movie
cool
where
poster.
Godzilla and Kong fight. Take all of my money now. Basically, some scientists are trying to find a location that is of myth. They believe that Kong could perhaps lead them to it, and Godzilla is
Yeah.
out in the world wreaking havoc and killing people. So folks are confused. Godzilla
Yeah.
tends to be someone who kind of balances the scales of justice and does the right thing, so why does it appear that he's killing innocent people? And of course, eventually, these two titans are going to sort some shit out. Quick backstory, that VHS King Kong vs. Godzilla was on repeat constantly when I was in elementary school. It's a very cheesy movie, admittedly, especially if you watch the American version. But
I
that
love
little
he's
kid,
shoving the tray in his
yeah,
mouth.
shit.
Get
He
him.
loved it, and he watched it all the
Oh
time.
my
And that kid that's
gosh.
still inside me had a big cheesy grin throughout almost this entire film.
I
I
bet
really
he
had a
did.
good time with Godzilla vs. Kong because it basically gives you exactly what you want. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a very tightly paced movie in that it's the shortest so far in this most recent series of Godzilla and King Kong
You
films.
might need more.
The movie doesn't
good,
waste
actually.
too much time with things that you might not necessarily care about, and it doesn't have a grand aspiration towards really anything else than entertaining the hell out of you with a series of epic
Yeah.
bouts between Godzilla and Kong.
That's
They do
absolutely
not
true.
disappoint. That's what you want to see. That's what's on the poster. The movie delivers that 100%, especially in the latter half. The second half of the movie is almost non-stop Kong and Godzilla stuff. And it's really exciting and fun. Now, one complaint that's been thrown around a lot for these recent Kong and Godzilla movies, and I've certainly said it, is that the human characters are kind of boring. Most people watch these
bad.
movies for the Titans,
Yeah.
and we all know that. But it would still be nice if you kind of cared about the little ants that are walking around on the ground. This movie is very self-aware in that it does the bare minimum basics for the human characters. It establishes the characters, their motivations, their goals, Why are they in this movie? Why are they doing what they're doing? And it gives traits to each one of them. Some are overly serious, some are very funny, some are paranoid, and some characters cancel each other out. Brian Tyree Henry was very funny as a conspiratorial podcast host who has a lot of thoughts about what the government is doing, and some of them end up being true, so getting to watch him discover that his paranoid rantings on the internet are actually fact was very funny. But Julian Dennison, who I loved in Hunt for the Wilder People, is also there for comic relief. And those two characters are sort of on a side quest with Millie Bobby Brown's character, and sometimes it feels like the movie stops when we're with them. Eventually, there's a concrete reason for them being in the movie, and the characters are entertaining, and as I said, Brian Tyree Henry's very funny and likable, and so he definitely makes his scenes very enjoyable. But Alexander Skarsgård and Rebecca Hall are basically the main story. They're trying to find this hidden world, and Kong is leading them
plot's
there.
like a B plot.
This was really smart, because instead of having Kong just be an animal that occasionally appears to wreak some havoc, he's integral to the story. They need him for the story. So not only do we get to see more of the monsters, but they made them more integral to the story this time around. But as I said, the film is extremely well paced in that it gives you just enough of the human people, because they're really not that interesting, and what they're trying to do can at times be a little incomprehensible. The best way that I can describe Godzilla vs. Kong is that it feels like an early 2000s movie, and I mean that as a compliment. There used to be films that were just big, fun movies. And that's it. They had the needed character development, the bare minimum basics, but the movies knew why you were there. They were very self-aware. They didn't have these grand aspirations to be these overly pretentious human dramas. And I miss times like that at the movies where it just felt like you could go and have a fun time, even if it is disposable. It's almost like the film knows.
Yeah, there's way too many dramas nowadays. He's right.
Adam Wingard
Everything's a
does
drama in
so
comedy.
many fun things with the fight sequences in the movie. He simulates a camera that's mounted to their arms sometimes, so when they throw punches, it creates this great sort of dizzying effect. The fights are gorgeous. The visual effects truly have reached an amazing, amazing period. Like, we are in the future.
Oh yeah, it looks really
good.
good.
This movie is absolutely breathtaking. I do think there's one missed opportunity, though. There's an area of the film, without getting into details, where gravity is sort of fucked up. I really wish that Godzilla and Kong fought in that spot somehow. It could have been like the Inception fight of Godzilla and Kong. It feels like a missed opportunity.
That would have
Also,
been
one
cool.
close-up
There was
of
an area
Godzilla
where
in the film
That
was
would
really
have been
crappy
awesome.
did get messed
That
up.
would
It
have
was kind of
been
like
pretty
that.
That I
epic.
feel
Maybe
like
they
some
couldn't
people
figure
won't
it
know
out.
what to make of it.
Maybe.
I thought it
I
was
mean-
really funny. I liked it a lot, and I laughed. But some people might think
They
it's
got
like
through
out
that
of
part really
Maybe
quickly
they
though.
spent all their money and that was it.
Also, can I just say that Kyle Chandler has now been
A lot of
in
things
two
got
films
cut,
with Kong
too,
that are
apparently, so.
completely separated from each other. He was in the Peter Jackson King Kong, and now this. That's so strange, but cool. Good for him, man. He's out there making the money. So even though the human aspect of the movie, again, is just something I don't really care that much about, there is one part of the film that I think they absolutely knocked out of the park. There's a young girl in the film that's able to communicate with Kong. That was absolutely the heart and soul of the movie, and created some surprisingly touching moments that I did not expect. Now, granted, this movie is not going to be for everybody. If you go into Godzilla vs. Kong, ready to analyze the in-depth meaning and the hidden metaphors of the shots and visual implications of everyone's state of mind, you'll probably not like the movie. But if you just want to see Godzilla and Kong throw punches, you're going to have a blast. I'm going to give Godzilla vs. Kong a B. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching.
That's
and
fair.
thank you as well to the
That's very
sponsor
fair.
for this video, Skillshare.
Right, not every movie, and not everything has to
Not
be
everything has to be such a big dynamic
a
thing.
big deal.
Yeah. No.
It'd just be fun.
No. Sometimes it can
Yeah,
just be
no, I
big
agree.
lizard
Fun is
versus big
fun.
monkey.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fun
like,
is fun.
Well, what they do throughout the movie, there's these certain
Craft things that you can fly around, that the characters fly around in, and that's the only thing I would say that the movie didn't do right, is that they tried to make it way too sci-fi instead of, because there's two previous versions before the movie that was very grounded. All the technology was current technology. Everything was very realistic in the technology. And then in this movie they have, we just got flying spaceships because we do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and that's what the movie does.
They-
but
That
they need
anybody
it, though,
can
for the
fly, too.
plot.
no,
There's
not
a-
anybody.
there's
Just
a
this company that
reason
has
that they
billions
have
of dollars
it.
apparently.
No, well, what about the radio guy? He flew it.
No, the radio guy didn't fly it.
Oh, I thought he did. The
No, it was only the
podcaster.
people that were with Kong.
Then who took the spacecraft and flew it to restart Kong's heart?
That was one of the guys who followed Kong basically the whole time to push the plot.
Oh,
So spoilers,
Basically.
but like in a nutshell. So basically, what happens
so it wasn't the
is that the
podcast
professor
guy.
guy.
No, the podcast guy. Well,
Hold
how
on.
can I break this down? There's two organizations. One is called Monarch, and one is called Apex. Apex wants to become the apex of all animals. They want to be the top dog.
Apex predator.
Apex predator. They want to make sure they're always top dog. Monarch is a company that deals with having to deal with giant monsters. They call them Titans. And so this guy used to work for Monarch, that the guy that restarted the heart.
This guy.
So Apex.
Oh, you're talking about this other guy. Never mind.
So Apex came up to this guy and he was like, "Hey, I got an opportunity for you. Will you follow Big Monkey and go to the center of the earth to be able to save us?" And that's what he does. And turns out Godzilla ripped a hole through the entirety of the earth, and Big Monkey goes up hole, and they follow him. Big Monkey and Godzilla fight. He loses, and they have to restart his heart.
Ah,
well,
that's what
also, real
happens.
quick, so this girl right here in the middle, she's the daughter of the director of Monarch. From the movie before that.
Yes, that she's actually
So
was the
she
main
has
character
a
of the
lot
last
of
movie.
extra
so
knowledge.
she came over from
And
that
she
movie to this
notices,
movie.
and she listens to his podcast, and basically what happens is she's like, "Oh, hey, I totally think this is happening, and I agree with you." So they like kind of figure out where this guy could be, and that's where their journey kind of starts.
And it's all in the Apex facility, which they make.
He actually
Mecha
works
Godzilla.
undercover for Apex.
Oh, Apex is the one that
makes
Mega.
Mecha Godzilla.
Apex
yeah.
is the opposite of
The
Monarch. yeah.
robotic Godzilla.
Yes, that's why they want to make it.
That's even bigger than Godzilla.
Yes, it's bigger and stronger than Godzilla. But there's a catch to it, because in the previous movie, they fought this three-headed dragon thing called Ghidorah. And that's like a really big, prevalent monster in the Godzilla universe. You just pull up King of the Monsters. That's what he used to look like. That's what he looks
Alright,
like.
hold on, let
Yeah,
me
that's what he
just-
looks
hold
like,
on.
kind of.
That's
Let
pretty
me pull
nasty.
up the Wikipedia.
Yeah, so him and Godzilla were
It's a
fighting.
three-headed dragon.
But he's also not just a
Wikipedia.
dragon, he's an alien.
Oh.
He's an alien dragon. So he's not even from this Earth. I mean, like all these other monsters and things are from Earth. But that thing is not. So it wants to take
But real
over.
How did it get here?
Meteor, apparently.
Go Gpedia.
But Gojipedia.
That's fantastic.
But it's
But
yeah,
then
it's an
it's
alien,
Ghidorah.
so it's really strong and it fought hard. But the thing is, its heads all have its own personality too. But it died at the very end of that movie. Spoiler alert, but whatever. And they used their weird being able to connect each other's minds with each other ability, because they have separate heads in this movie, and that's how
So they're actually three different brains. They're not.
they're actually
just-
three different brains.
It's not the same being. With
No.
the-
They all have different personalities. Actually,
so it's like twins that get hooked together at birth and they can't disconnect.
correct. One is the silly one. One's a pissed off straight man, and one's more like the other one.
Really?
Yeah,
No kidding.
yeah,
That's goofy.
yeah. It's kind of goofy.
Yeah, especially for a sci-fi movie where they're just supposed to be kicking each other.
Like yeah, one's like licking around and just hits him on the head.
Oh,
like
I
that. It's
love-
like,
I love that
It's like, what are you
movie.
doing? Well, that's what Godzilla is. It is goofy, and like goofy to the point where they have the skull of Ghidorah in one thing, and in an area where they uplink themselves, like in a brain, kind of like the Matrix.
Yeah.
And the other skull
Yeah.
is inside of the robot. And that's how they connect each other.
Uh-huh.
But you can see how that could go wrong,
Mhm.
because if Ghidorah gets in control somehow, and that's kind of what happens. So,
Well, they don't have the skull inside of the
yes,
mecha.
they do. Yeah, they said that.
No. They have the skull, but because of the 3 heads, they can telepathically communicate. So they turned, spoiler alert, they turned Gatora's head into a supercomputer that can telepathically communicate with the
robot.
robot.
Because the robot also has a skull inside of it.
Does it?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why it can connect remotely. Because they can telepathically connect. Because they're heads or something. Half the movie doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Try not
But
to
they
read too
just
much into
they,
it.
they basically, I like these movies that do that though. They announce that this is the way it is, and you
It is that way, and it will be.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Honestly,
and you need to just accept it.
and how fucking crazy
Explanation
that
behind
robot
it
gets at the
doesn't
very
matter.
end. Oh, it's so cool. Like, honestly, whoever, like, even if I do spoil this movie, it really doesn't matter. What matters is, it's kind of like if I gave you the spoiler of a fight of, again, in UFC or something. That doesn't matter. You want to see the fight. And that is what that movie is important. It's like, it just has extremely amazing CGI. It has extremely amazing just movement, how they actually ram into buildings, how they go around each other, how the spacecrafts go around Godzilla, and it actually makes you feel like you're in a 3D scenario and going actually around Godzilla yourself, feeling like you're in a roller coaster.
Right. Well, they mentioned that they put the cameras on the arm, so you can almost swing with the punches.
Yeah, exactly. They do that a lot. They make it really feel like it's a ride. It's like it's a really long Disney ride. That's the best way
So
to describe it.
you're both recommending that people go and see this movie.
I recommend anyone see
if
it.
you
Absolutely.
for fun.
I
fun.
mean, if you don't get to see it in theaters,
Don't care about the plot. Just watch it.
Still
But-
watch it.
But see it in the cinema one.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah. I
definitely
recommend
the
seeing it.
sound is so good, and the
The sound
graphics
in the cinema
on
made a
Kong
difference.
and Godzilla.
It was
Beautiful.
probably one of the best sound engineering movies I've actually ever heard, by the way, because how they made Godzilla sound like he's wrapping around you in the theater. He literally sounds like his tail's
I think
whipping around you.
I think any of these people that make movies have learned a lot of lessons from Transformers, who were poorly done in certain sections, and you didn't know what the heck was going on with the
Blurry
sound.
mess.
Right,
There's just too much artifacts going on.
right,
It was just way too much.
and how to do it better, cleaner.
Correct. That's what these movies do. They make it feel fast-paced action. It just works. It's you always.
Because that's
see
where
what's
I
going
always
on.
had a problem with the Transformer movies. They actually had a decent story. They had good characters. They had some good things going on, but you get into the fight scenes and some of the other stuff, and it just became almost unwatchable.
And I really like Shia LaBeouf, and I understand. Yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
almost nauseating.
Right.
That's the thing. It's just way too quick for seeing just
Right.
random metal things just move.
So
around.
Godzilla solved that.
Oh,
Godzilla,
I would say it
Kong
more
solved
than
that.
solve that. It's the best at it. I would say it's the pinnacle of
Right.
when it comes to CGI things fighting each other. I think it's probably more revolutionary in probably other ways that I don't even know about. And it's just a cool movie. I don't know. Anyone should see that. Even if you're a girl, you should see that. It's just that cool.
Yeah.
Even for a
But
girl.
like
Well,
the
yeah, I
reviewer
mean,
half the
said-
there's a-
population.
Okay, that doesn't even mean to sound sexist. If you are trying to,
okay, what?
if you are a person who is
No,
a girlier
no.
person,
It wasn't. I wasn't even referring to that as sexism. It's just half the people. So you say half the people. They should watch it because it's just fun to watch.
I said that because I guarantee someone would say that's a sexist.
But
thing
real
to say."
quick, so I do want to
no,
add.
I'm not trying to be sexist.
I
I'm
agree
just
with
saying there's a lot of
the-
girls that don't like that. Continue, baby.
Oh, sorry. I agree with the movie reviewer that anyone watching, like, if you do watch Godzilla vs. Kong, throw the human story just kind of like off to the side. Take out that logic and just enjoy the ride.
You just usually need some.
You
humans
just
to
enjoy the
develop
movie for
plot.
what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and also for something for the audience to hold on to.
I would say the humans are kind of grounding, but honestly, the more grounding thing is Kong. 'Cause
Right.
He feels more weighted and more like a human.
Well, that's what he was mentioning in his critique.
Yeah.
So unless you have anything else on that, let's watch the that pitch
Meeting.
on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Let's watch the pitch meeting on it because the pitch meeting is quite excellent.
I love pitch meeting. All right, hold on one sec, guys. I gotta get the.
Since I spoiled everything, anyways.
Bum, bum,
That's why I was asking if we were doing spoilers.
Yeah,
or
well, the
not.
pitch meeting is just spoilers, so.
So, you have a movie for me?
Yes, sir, I do. What if Big Monkey punched Big Reptile?
Oh, and vice versa?
Vice versa,
Yeah.
too.
Amazing. So how does this thing play out?
Well, during the intro credits, we're going to show all the monsters that Godzilla and Kong have defeated, right? And that it's all been leading up to this big showdown.
Oh, so these movies have been like a Titan tournament this whole time.
Sure, maybe.
Very cool.
So we're going to meet this guy, Bernie, who has a conspiracy theory podcast, right? And he works for this big corporation called Apex.
Okay.
And so on his podcast, he's like, well, today's the day. I'm going to go steal some information from my employers.
And the big corporation has no idea that one of their employees is running a full-on podcast about stealing information from them?
They don't know. And actually, them having horrible security is going to be a common thing in this movie.
Oh, how come?
Well, because if they had competent security, that would kind of just slow the movie down, so that's just not going to be a
That's
thing
so
at all.
true.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, then for some
Yeah.
mysterious reason, Godzilla ends up attacking Apex.
Oh, so Bernie was right, something weird was going on?
Exactly. I think it's important, especially in this day and age, to, put a positive spin on conspiracy theorists online. Really make them into heroes. Anyway, so because of the attack, people are like, wait, is Godzilla not our savior anymore?
Was he ever the savior? He personally stepped on thousands of people.
Well, he's kind of a savior to the people he didn't personally step on.
I guess that makes sense.
So anyway, we're also gonna see Kong, and he's living on Skull Island under 24-hour observation inside that dome from the Hunger Games.
Okay.
And we're gonna find out that all the native humans from Skull Island were killed in a big storm, except for this little deaf girl named Gia, and he has a special bond with her.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and without anybody knowing, she fully teaches him sign language.
How did she secretly teach a giant monkey sign language while it was under constant supervision?
Unclear.
A very stealthy educator.
So then the obviously evil
Yes, she
CEO of
is.
Apex approaches this guy Nathan Lind, who wrote a book about the Hollow Earth theory.
Why is this guy evil?
Oh, well, he secretly wants to make a mecha Godzilla so the humans can defend themselves against Titans.
That's actually a pretty reasonable thing to want.
Yeah, but he's gonna look really evil while he does it, though.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, like he does that thing where he drapes a jacket over his shoulders.
Oh, only evil people do
does.
that. Gross.
He sounds like
Exactly.
this.
So he wants to send this Nathan guy into the Hollow Earth to find a power source, but they need Kong to guide them.
Why?
Vague reasons that'll drive
Yeah.
the plot forward.
Perfect.
So they put Kong on this ship, but then Godzilla's gonna attack, because that's what he does, He attacks other Titans all day.
Sure, of course, he loves to do that.
So they're gonna fight for quite some time, and Godzilla's gonna win.
Oh, wow, 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 wow.
But just as Godzilla's circling around to finish the job, Nathan's gonna tell this captain guy, hey, shut everything off, let's play dead.
Okay.
And this guy's like, okay, but this better work.
So he's threatening to hurt Nathan if the plan goes wrong and the lizard kills them all?
Yeah, if Godzilla kills everybody, Nathan's gonna be in trouble with this guy.
Sounds pretty serious.
I honestly
So then
never
they're
picked
gonna
that up.
play dead,
But
and Godzilla's gonna be like, oh, okay, bye.
Oh, it worked.
It did, but then they're gonna say that as soon as they start moving again, Godzilla's gonna come back and finish the job.
So what do they do?
Well, we're gonna cut to them later, and they're carrying Kong in this giant net by air.
Well, how'd they do that without Godzilla noticing?
By being off screen for a little bit.
Oh, Godzilla can't see off-screen stuff.
Exactly. So then they head to this Hollow Earth place, and they have to go through this big weird wormhole, and gravity's all messed up down
Yeah.
there. It's crazy.
Does that not hurt them, the sudden change in gravity?
crazy.
It doesn't, no. Because you know how in 2014 Godzilla technology was pretty much standard military stuff?
Yeah.
Well, now just a couple years later, technology is full-on magic.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, so they have these little magical gravity spaceships that make little blue energy trails. They have tunnels that go
Yeah.
from Florida to Hong Kong.
Oh, these movies aren't gonna feel connected at all.
Nope, and so they go around this Hollow Earth place, and Kong feels right at home, and there are a bunch of big monsters there.
Wow, must be pitch black too, I imagine.
No, it's like a beautiful sunny day.
Oh, what's the light source?
Unclear.
Oh, okay.
So then Kong is gonna find a throne.
Yeah, I
and
never
he's gonna
got that
find this
either.
big axe that's made from another Godzilla's dorsal plate, and this thing freaking glows radioactive blue.
Wow, so okay, we said in another movie that the Titans feed off the intense radiation at the center of the Earth, right?
We did, sure.
And that's where all these humans are hanging out?
That's right.
So, they gonna be okay?
Yeah, sure.
How?
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, I won't.
So anyway, meanwhile, through the movie, we're gonna be checking in with Madison. Remember her from the last movie? She's from the last movie.
She is,
And so she teamed up with a friend and that conspiracy guy, and they're just basically going to be doing their own little episode of Scooby-Doo.
oh, they are.
Yeah, they're just kind of wandering
Yeah.
around
Oh my gosh.
Apex, trying to solve a little mystery, encountering no security whatsoever, and having little to no impact on anything.
Sure, that may as well happen.
And so then back in the Hollow Earth, the Apex These people are going to send an energy signature back up to Earth, and they're going to use that to power their Mecha Godzilla.
So they email a power signature to...
Yeah, listen, sometimes we're just going to say stuff, and it's best not to think about it at all.
But it's just that...
You know, we're gonna cut away to monsters punching each other really quickly, so nobody has any time to digest any of the mumbo-jumbo we use as explanations.
Is that gonna work?
Sure it is. So anyway, Apex is going to use Ghidorah's skulls as a supercomputer to make a psionic uplink and control the Mecha
Yeah, that's
Godzilla
the skull thing.
telepathically.
Okay, but so
And then monsters are
that's
going to
not
punch
inside the
each
mecha.
other.
Oh!
It is.
Godzilla senses
No, it's
that
not.
Kong is up to something weird, so he blasts a hole in the earth all the way down to the Hollow Earth area.
What about that weird wormhole section?
Yeah, he blasts through that too, I guess. I don't care. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
And then Kong climbs up the hole.
Does he have to go through the wormhole again?
No, I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back about that wormhole. That was several scenes ago. We're done with it.
Oh, okay, let me get off of that thing.
So then Godzilla and Kong are gonna fight and pretty much destroy Hong Kong.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's gonna be super intense. They're gonna fight and fight and fight. At a certain point, Godzilla's gonna be like,
What?
and Godzilla's gonna end up
Yeah, he
defeating
does.
King Kong and leaving him for dead.
Oh no.
And meanwhile, that evil CEO guy is
Like
gonna be
Bowser.
doing like an evil monologue thing, but then Mecha Godzilla is gonna go rogue and crush him.
Oh.
And Bernie's gonna be like, "That's unfair. I really wanted to hear the end of that speech."
A man just died in front of his eyes.
Yeah, so he makes a little joke instead of acting like a human person.
Okay.
So now Mecha Godzilla is being controlled by the ghost of Ghidorah or something. I don't care. It's gonna look great.
Sure, I bet.
And Godzilla could really use Kong's help, so the humans want to stop him from dying.
Oh man, it's gonna be tough for tiny humans to do that.
Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Nathan's gonna be like, hey, maybe I could use that magical ship we've been flying around in as a defibrillator on this giant monkey.
Oh wow, okay, so this guy's like pretty experienced with this ship, huh?
He literally just learned it existed.
And he knows how to use it to restart a giant monkey's heart?
Sure, yeah, I don't care. And now that Kong isn't dead, he and Godzilla can team up against a common threat, which is what you have to do when your movie has versus in the title.
Oh, double teaming a robot is tight.
So then they managed to defeat Mecha Godzilla through the power of teamwork.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow.
And so then Godzilla's like, okay,
Wow, wow.
bye, and Kong goes to live in Hollow Earth, and that's it, we're done.
Wow, really rushing to that ending, huh?
Well, we're done with the punching, so, you know, what's the point?
That makes sense.
And so, yeah, what do you think?
Well, I mean, it's a movie where a giant monkey gets in a fight with a giant reptile, you know? What could go wrong? Hey everybody, Ryan here. Hope you enjoyed that video. And if you liked it, feel free to click the like button.
Bomb by Snyderverse, did that say?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
Okay, but that movie had like the most like grossing box office.
Well, yeah.
Well,
It
yeah.
was huge. It's the reason why movies are even coming back, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's because of Kong.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's because more people want to see
What
it in
was
theater
the-
than
let
on
me see,
HBO.
what was the gross
So it's
one?
proving that people want to go to the
Oh, and a nice sign because you can watch some drama at home.
Yes.
But if you make movies that are particularly good, it's like why we would always go to certain movies to see the IMAX.
Yeah.
All right,
We
there
wouldn't
you
see
go.
it at
Yeah, like
we wanna-
Dracula is a
Yeah,
really
we
good
want to see the IMAX version,
Yeah.
and we drive wherever we had to drive to, down to Tempe,
Yeah, yeah. Tempe or
2.5
Franklin.
hours or 2 3/4 hours to go down and see the movie in the IMAX.
Yeah.
Because the movie was worth seeing in the IMAX.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if they make movies that are worth seeing in the theater, people will go back to the theater.
Absolutely. And this is one of them. This is proving it.
But that's where they're going to learn that real quick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Then they're going to keep using those kind of things. Hopefully, they'll make just a bunch of monster movies.
Well, I don't know about monster movies, but movies that are worth that you've got to go to the theater and see because
Yeah.
the visual is just lost in a smaller screen.
Yeah.
Well,
especially
not even that,
television.
just even small details. We noticed when we watched it on HBO Max, like versing the theater, there was some jokes that hit harder. There was things we noticed because we
sound.
could see it
Just
better.
because-
the sound was better. Yeah.
Just because of the sound impact of how like both of the monsters were walking around,
Yeah.
when I was watching at home, it felt like they're like too lightweight feeling, if you know what I mean. Like you sometimes see that with things, like things just don't look like they feel like they're weight, and when they punch, it doesn't feel like it should have been that light or something like that. But when I saw it in theater, it hit perfect. It was like because of the sound.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It was like it made such more of an impact. It actually made it feel way more real comparatively. I don't know. I feel like this movie is like one of the only movies I say that it was almost important to see in the theater comparatively.
Well,
yeah,
the
absolutely.
The next movie we're going to talk about is the Justice League movie.
Yeah, Justice League.
The Zack Snyder version, which is a 4-hour movie, and that is a movie that we couldn't see in the theater. Am I correct?
Correct. It's not in theater.
Correct.
So
It's
it's
an
not
HBO Max only.
on HBO Max, so we don't get that. And Zack Snyder made it a 4:3 movie, which is a IMAX.
It's an IMAX quality movie. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an IMAX screen size movie, and
Right,
so
but
it's a
they
little
couldn't-
odd
could
when you're.
they hypothetically, if they wanted to re-release it in theaters, could they or no? Because it's a
It's
cut
a
of different movie
HBO
that already
Warner
got
Brothers
released.
agreement.
Okay, so
I see.
it's basically you can't even watch it in the theaters. So it's set up to be on IMAX. So it's an odd thing when you're watching it that you're losing the two sides of the screen a little bit. You're losing a few inches on your television set trying to watch this thing. But regardless, you get used to that pretty quick. In a
I
few
actually
minutes.
find it
but the
better
shots,
in some ways.
the shots are good, and the critique that we
Oh, yeah.
have to watch on the movie, on the Justice League is. But from what I got to see, I've only gotten to see part of the movie, and I was also in the middle of doing some things while I was trying to watch it. So I'm going to watch it and get a chance to really see it. But it looks
Great.
fantastic.
Oh, it's a great movie.
It looks fantastic.
Every single
visually it looks fantastic.
every single second looks like it came out of a comic book panel.
It's
And that's the thing. That's what they did with
amazing
300.
shot.
Well, and the thing is with the original Justice League when they had what's his name, Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Well, because of the fact that Marvel was doing so good, they tried too hard to copy like the Marvel formula onto DC characters, and it just doesn't work.
Oh.
They're more serious, they're more brooding, they need less comedy.
Well, they also not just did that, they boost the saturation in the other ones.
Yeah,
They made
that's
it
true. The saturation was insane.
They made more of a
Explain
buddy.
that to anybody who's watching this podcast.
Well, color is very important, and when it comes to themes and tones of movies, let's get Justice League up, like the original Justice League.
I am, yeah.
And what they did is they made it look a lot more like Avengers because Joss Whedon took control of it, and they made it way more buddy cop feeling movie, I guess. Lot of comedy.
Do you want like
a lot of
image
campy comedy.
Oh, just a footage comparison? Trailer comparison?
Just footage. Yeah, sure.
Okay, give me one sec. Let me.
And this will be a great comparison just in like what it really looks like. The other one's Joss Whedon's version, which arguably is just much worse.
Not that he's a bad director or anything. It's just
No,
that-
I actually think he is a pretty bad director. I've never thought anything that he's ever done has been that good looking. It's just that he's made some exceptional Avengers films. But what did he have before that? Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Wait, what
That's
did
it.
he make besides
Buffy
was
the
it just
Vampire
Avengers
Slayer.
that he made?
He made Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Who made the Guardians of the Galaxy?
That was it's the guy that's making the new Suicide Squad.
Oh, it's James Gunn. I get
James
them
Gunn.
confused. Never mind.
Yeah, James Gunn is a good director. He's actually
never mind.
confident.
Okay, my bad. I get them confused.
But yeah, he's good. He knows what he's doing in some regards, but he tries too hard to make things an easy way out, easy comedy.
So I'm gonna go
I don't
ahead
know.
and play this in the background. I'll take the sound off, but that way you can kind of get a better idea.
Yeah.
So you got the Snyder and the theatrical. So much more.
That one is the Snyder cut because it's just in different scenes.
Oh yeah, and the bad guy looked different too. Oh, hold on.
The Snyder cut's definitely going to be more dull looking, but the thing is, everything in the theatrical cut is very oversaturated and very light looking. And you might think it,
Yeah.
if you're looking comparatively, like let's say in that, it's like, oh, the Whedon one almost looks a little bit better. But go to like a human shot. showing Superman.
Oh.
No, just keep going. Just keep going.
Okay.
Some of these shots weren't even actually in the movie, which is
No, it's
weird.
the trailer.
Oh yeah, that's
See if I
what
can-
Steppenwolf used to look like, which
Yeah, that's the bad guy.
which was really weird about that is that Snyder originally made him look like this back in 2015 or something.
Like what?
Like the original Snyder cut.
Like this?
Okay.
But when Whedon came in charge, he's like, I don't like how he looks. Completely redesigned and made him look like a dude.
Right. That's what he looks like.
He looks like a dude.
Right. He looks like
Look at that
some
big old
weird-
belt buckle right
some
there.
weird Finnish, Norwegian mixed whatever the hell.
Yeah, and the whole movie, what in the Snyder cut, is about Darkseid, and Steppenwolf comes to Earth to help do things for Darkseid. In Whedon's universe, Steppenwolf becomes to Earth because Steppenwolf wants to come to Earth, and he wants to collect
Right.
these boxes because he wants everyone's love.
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a story about
Yes.
himself. It's
Yes.
it's a very weird way to go
Yeah.
with the angle. I'm so glad that they changed it with the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
Because it makes
it's
more
not
sense
the real
that
fucking
he's like
story.
trying
They just
to
made it
prove
up.
himself. Yeah.
They cut it. They just cut everyone's story down to crap and made their own story just to make it fit in an hour.
Well,
and a
then
half.
also look at this guy. This guy is supposed to like take on the freaking Justice League.
I don't. Well, yeah. I mean, that's possible, but that's
Remember
not the
that guy,
thing.
though.
It's like
That
he's
guy's
clearly
scary.
more intimidating looking. But it's like, why would you rip away something that's already existing, just because you can? And it's because he wanted a certain look, and that certain look was more like a Marvel movie. Let's see. That's not even in the Snyder cut. None of these are even in the Snyder cut. I
Well,
mean,
I-
sorry. None of these are
Alright,
even
give
in
me
the
a
Whedon
second.
cut.
Give me a second. This one?
Yeah, let's do that. That's a good fight.
All right. I'm gonna just. You want to have the
Yeah, have
audio
the
or
sound
keep it
on.
Muted. You want the sound on?
Yeah. This is a very important moment. This is when Superman comes back from being dead.
Oh yeah, this is a very important moment right here.
And he doesn't know anything is happening because he doesn't have any memory. But in the Whedon cut, he does have his memory. He just wants to fight them to fight them.
No, that's not true.
That's why he says to Batman, do you bleed?
No. Okay, so real quick. So the reason he says that to Batman is because the last thing he remembers is Batman because he died. He doesn't know anything else besides Batman because it was the last glimpse of anything.
Which
before he
makes no
died.
sense because he partnered with Batman. Whatever.
That's how they did it in Justice League 2017. That was the thing. Is that's why he was so pissed off, is because all he wanted to do was like go after Batman because of what happened from BV Superman.
Batman versus Superman, yeah.
Anyway,
He's not all right. Something's wrong. He's scanning us.
What?
Relax, your adrenaline's spiking. Because he's not all right.
oh yeah, that's right. So in this scene,
Well, let's watch. Let's not talk too much over it. Let's just see.
Victor? Victor?
Shit. What are you doing?
Victor!
It's my armor's defense system.
No!
It's stronger since the interface. I can't control it.
Victor, no!
Victor!
Control the box, Victor!
It's my auto defense system. It senses danger.
Victor, no! Victor!
I can't control it. No!
So they use different shots for that. It's almost hard to tell on this screen. Usually, everyone looks way more red looking, but
He's confused. He doesn't know who he is.
Pet cemetery.
Pet cemetery. Arthur, we need to restrain him.
That's a heck of a sword shape. come back from the dead?
I'll explain that. It's a very integral part of the movie. Henry Cavill's such a good actor.
Kal-El, the last son of Krypton.
So basically all this was what Zack Snyder did shoot. But right after this part is basically going to be a lot of Whedon. A little bit after. And as you can see, just in like this small part, what Whedon did comparatively is cut a lot of stuff out in small frames to save for time, which doesn't work as well in a fast-paced action battle scene. But this part isn't as bad. Like they completely cut this part from the film for no reason. But it's not too bad yet. They obviously had to cut around 2.5 hours worth of stuff. And this is what they added in.
Clark.
Oh gosh.
This is the original. Which is not in the original movie.
You should probably move.
You all right? Get up. Take cover back there.
Batman.
I know you.
Fun part about this, they had to reshoot this scene, so Henry Cavill used to have a mustache, and that's why his upper lip looks weird in some of the Justice League 2017 part. You'll see that a little bit.
The music in this one is just so good too.
Comparatively, yeah, the other one sounds, I don't know, it's like a buddy cop movie. I don't know how to describe it. Like, some of the shots in the original movie are good, but that's...
This is some of the best Superman stuff I've ever seen.
Oh, it's the best. Joss Whedon,
I mean, it really shows what Superman is.
yeah.
Simply.
Yeah, that's why these movies are really good. Zack Snyder made a really good vision for him, while Joss Whedon made it more jokey. You'll see here that this is the original scene that was
I just
supposed to
wanna
be in the
watch it.
movie.
Clark. Clark, no. Alfred, I need the big gun.
But instead he just gets pimp slapped in the original version. Picks him up.
You did this. I had to. You won't let me live. You won't let me die.
Won't let me die.
The world needs you. But does it need you? Tell me. Do you bleed?
Clark? Clark.
This world needs you. Hold your fire! Hold your fire!
Throws Batman. And this one he's just stunned. I don't know. The other one just had weird pacing. You could watch it yourself. You just won't have that much of a good time. And it looks not as different as you think it is, but my God, that movie has a completely different plot.
Well, this is just one scene.
Yeah. But even showing this scene, just one scene, it shows a different dynamic. Superman doesn't even talk. He acts like more of an animal that doesn't know what's going on in this situation. In that movie, he made a lot of campy jokes. And they made a lot of campy jokes, which is fine. It just could be better, which was already made before. They had to make the other scenes.
Right, right.
So it's like, why would they do that? I don't get it.
I don't think he likes the way it was lit. But you can change that in post.
You can change that in post. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Gotta have the Batman joke.
Oh, something's definitely bleeding, guys.
Ha ha ha.
Ha ha ha. Well, that's kind of a taste. But overall, the new Justice League is very, very, very good. It is. Has actually fleshed out characters. It introduces 3 characters in the Justice League in both films. The Flash, Cyborg, and Aquaman.
Yeah, so in the original one, they didn't even really go into Flash and into Cyborg or what do they call him, Victor's
The Aquaman character is the best character
so far. I actually disagree. I think it's Cyborg. But you haven't seen the whole movie,
right?
They were actually just introducing Cyborg.
I just find that anytime you have an Aquaman type character in any of the movies, like I don't know, any of the movies, like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Then the Wolverine, that character becomes the character that you rely upon for the most significant things.
Yeah.
And the strongest actions. And the part that you like the most. He's like the cleanup hitter in a baseball team.
That's the thing about this movie is everyone kind of plays their own little important part.
Right, I could tell that, but Wonder Woman is not going to be Aquaman. Doesn't matter how hard she tries.
No.
Because the character, it's just like all the characters in the movies that Wolverine is in are not going to be Wolverine.
I feel like Batman's more that way in this movie.
Well, Batman maybe he's tough.
Yeah, he's tough.
But the Aquaman character,
well, you can like punch ships.
Well, it's not his ability to do things. It's just who he is. If you take the character Batman and strip him down to the guy, and we watched it,
he is a lot like
he's
Wolverine.
A guy.
He is
right?
a lot like Wolverine. You're
where the Aquaman, you strip him down to just the guy, and he's a rock star.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he is a rock star.
Right,
he is absolutely a rock star.
And and I hate that definition of people call people, especially in business, oh, he's a rock star, she's a rock star. You don't know anything about being a musician or what it takes to be a musician, to be a rock star. Calling somebody who does well in sales a rock star. But in this case, that kind of personality, that does those kind of things, that has that kind of presence, screen presence. There's only a few.
Him as an actor is that way.
I've always felt that like all the different characters that have gone against Batman, and forget what's his name, the last Joker that they had, but the Joker is the rock star of the characters that attacked Gotham and
Heath
Batman.
Ledger killed it, in my opinion.
Right, he killed it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like the Joker overall is an amazing character.
Right.
Well, it really makes no
It was
sense.
an amazing comic book.
I honestly don't even get the dynamic between the Joker and Batman because it's like, what's the dynamic between bats and clowns?
Right.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, it works. I don't know why, but yeah, and they don't even have a Joker in this universe. I mean, they do, but it doesn't really matter.
Right.
So.
Well, not now. I mean, what they have to go up against is significantly more powerful.
Oh, well, yes. They are against Steppenwolf.
These people are capturing planets and things.
Yeah.
Every time I hear someone say Steppenwolf, I think of
the band.
The band.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
I know. Every time they're like, "Oh, it's Steppenwolf," I'm like, "Born to Be Wild."
Right.
Magic Carpet
It's around the same time. Steppenwolf has been in the comics since the 80s, apparently. So, there you go. But, yeah, I would say Justice League as a movie overall, I would give it a 9 out of 10. It is probably just as good as a Lord of the Rings type of movie. I wouldn't say it's good as Lord of the Rings. I would say Lord of the Rings is a little bit better. But this is that type of level. It is in that league.
When you're comparing it to Marvel,
I would say it's better than Marvel.
Yeah.
Okay,
Overall.
that's kind of a better comparison.
It's just because, like, yes, maybe there's certain movies like Infinity War might have been better than a lot of the moments in this movie. But did I have to watch 29 other movies just to understand what Infinity War was?
I'm not talking about like think of like a Marvel movie. Say you watch like a Marvel movie, you kind of have all the background. Like, how would you put this on a scale?
I guess it's an enjoyability in my first time viewing. I would say this is better. And that's just because it fleshes everything out in this movie perfectly, while on everything else, it's just, it's prior knowledge. So you just got to know things exist and just accept it as it is. While in this movie...
That's very true. I actually haven't seen any of the superhero movies that these correlate to. I haven't seen Wonder Woman. I've seen like one Batman. I saw Aquaman.
Yeah, but they're all
but
technically
I still
after.
understood the characters and what they do and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
But
They don't
whereas
flesh out
watch
characters
a
in other
Marvel
movies.
movie, it's like who, what, connections of things I don't know.
The only character they really fleshed out recently was Thanos. And that's why everyone likes Thanos. It's because he actually was fleshed out. Everyone knows his motivation. Everyone knows why he's doing his motivation. And his motivation kind of makes sense. But that's it. Everyone else's character, you gotta watch all their movies. You don't know who Black Panther is? You better watch Black Panther. You don't know who this is?
Right.
You better watch that movie.
They started reinventing or inventing characters beyond the comic books.
Oh, yeah. It's basically, if you haven't watched our 4,000th episode of all these movies we made,
See,
you're out of luck.
That's why I don't
Yeah,
think you can
seriously.
really compare this kind of thing. You can compare it visually or the story to Lord of the Rings, but you can't compare how you as a viewer watch Lord of the Rings compared to these type of movies, because people have grown up with Lord of the Rings reading the books.
Correct.
And there's no books here.
Well,
So
there
you-
is books. It's just comic books.
Yeah, right. But the comic books, but they're what I'm just talking about. I'm talking about these books that were written.
Yeah, fully fledged out
Yeah,
books.
Right,
much
the
more than the
characters, like,
movies.
basically right
Of course.
there.
Much more than the
There's more in
movies.
the books than the movies by far.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so you already have a vision in your head about how these things look,
Yeah.
and how the bad guys look, and how the scenes look, and how those trees that were
Yeah, actually, you
beams
read
look.
Lord of the Rings before, because I never got to leave Lord of the Rings before I got to see it.
Right.
You did, right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, The Hobbit.
how
The
was
Hobbit,
that experience for you, seeing the differences from the book compared to the movie?
I found the movies to be very tedious when I watched them. In other words, they spent time on certain things that it was amazing to see them. Okay. So when you watch these scenes of how I pictured like some of these different beings that were part of different parts of the books.
Yeah.
I pictured them differently than they show them. So I had to adjust my brain to the way their vision was on the movie to see them. And then after seeing them, they spent too much time over the drama of each other. It was like a time thing where they could have moved on, make your point, move on, make your point, move on. there was a lot more making your point and moving on in the book
Yeah.
than
Oh,
there
yeah.
was.
I
The
feel like-
Hobbit was very clean book to read through, and all the different
the movies
things.
are a mess.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They spend a lot of time on just different visuals because you have to. I mean, if you want to get a feel for Gollum, you've got to show him in different ways and doing different things, and who that person is. But you don't have to do that with the books. They
You
just
describe what he looks like, and you kind of
right. You
that, you know?
develop it yourself. You see it in your head, and it's not the same with. But what you do have is you have a grasp of the importance of the characters and the stories and everything else. There's no grasp of the importance. That has to be developed as you watch the movie. You already know why the trees, what are those trees? The ent?
The
What are they?
Ents, yeah.
The ents.
I'm not a tree. Call me
yeah.
Treebeard.
Right. You know why they're important because you've read all the books.
Yes.
So now you're watching this revisualization of a movie studio putting this thing together
Yeah.
of how they think it should look to represent the book and whatever they decide to do. But you've already got that. With this, you're guessing and you're watching some of these things and just accepting the way it is. And some of them look kind of thin. In other words, if you know somebody, okay, you know a person, all right, and you've known that person a long time,
Yeah.
and you see that person act up at a bar, okay, because they had a few drinks and they're acting like kind of dumb,
Yeah.
that they usually don't act like. You see that action, but you see that person more than just that moment.
Yes, of course.
Because you've known that person
But if it's
for
a brand
long
new
time.
person, they'll only.
Well, it's a brain. That's all you're going to see, and that's
Yeah.
what happens on this. So you don't see, you don't have any background to it.
That's
at
true.
all. So and that then you get to
a
the
really good
issue of
point.
okay, so you have that, but you can still learn it. That's true, but they have so many. It's not like it's just Aquaman, or it's not just this, or just
Well,
that.
that's why-
there's so many characters. There's
Oh,
all
yeah.
these bad guy characters. There's a whole thing of them,
Yeah.
and then there's all these good guy characters and all different
Yeah, yeah.
levels of good guy characters
Yeah.
and other people in between that are
Yeah.
also acting as just regular humans in the thing. And
Yeah.
so you've got so many things you have to learn and accept and figure out what's good, and some of them aren't as good as other ones. In other words, this character is better developed than this character.
Absolutely.
This was this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a 4-hour mix and match of crap. And I think after I watch this 4-hour one, I'd probably have to watch it a few more times just to really.
I
get
honestly
a
don't think
feel.
that's true. I feel like maybe just the beginning.
Not the story. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about the characters.
I see.
Thinking, is this really any good or not? Or did I watch that and think that was kind of weak because I really didn't understand it?
I would
didn't pick
recommend
it
you
up?
watching, if you ever feel the need for that, Batman versus Superman, which is the prequel of this movie.
Oh, right.
And the prequel of that is Man of Steel. But they actually go over the entirety of Man of Steel in Batman versus Superman, so you don't have to see it. Man of Steel is Superman's first movie as
Right.
Henry Cavill,
Right.
and I would say the only thing I would disagree on in the regards of this movie is that they did have to get a look. In the regards of this, Superman, when you think of Superman, you know what Superman looks like, so you
Right.
got to make that character look like freaking Superman and act like Superman.
Right.
So Henry Cavill, he looks and acts like Superman.
Right.
Ben Affleck, I think he looks and acts like Batman. He's pretty damn close to what I think Batman is. I think he looks better in Batman than what's the last Batman? I'm blanking out his name.
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Yeah, Christian Bale didn't look like Batman to me.
No, he doesn't look.
His suit looked cool though. And Christopher Nolan did a
What do
great
you
job.
think of Robert Pattinson as Batman?
I think he's gonna kick ass as Batman. But
Is he the next Batman?
he's the
Yeah.
next Batman because the Joss Whedon. I mean, sorry, this universe is dying. Maybe. No one knows. This is the new trailer for the
there's
Batman
a
movie.
possibility that this movie might.
You should
maybe
look
come
up the
back, but
trailer.
They're not sure. I think it's right. Oh. Yeah. YouTube.
Batman. I think it's just called. Actually, this Batman looks pretty sick.
Let's see. What would be the?
That one, either or. Literally.
That's the new Batman?
That's just him taking off his hood. You'll see.
Okay.
It's what's in the suit that matters.
I'm kidding.
It's what's in my pants that matters.
While you watch this, I'm gonna go pee.
From your secret friend. Who? Having a clue. Let's play a game. Just me and you. Any of this mean anything to you?
I like how it's dark like the old original Batmans were.
Why is he writing to you?
Oh my gosh.
If you are justice, please do not lie. What is the price for your blind eye?
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
I like he threw those last 2 extra punches that he didn't need to do.
He just
because he was
he's like,
pissed.
I am the boss.
Yeah, it's gritty.
You're part of this too.
Well, did you want to show that?
The
pitch meeting.
Yeah, let's show the pitch meeting.
Because I want to finish off with just the pitch meeting. Then we'll have to save our zoo cuts for next podcast.
That sounds good.
Okay, because we're running out of time.
That's fine. Let's do look up the Justice League pitch meeting.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, that's all they call it, is the Snyder cut. They don't even consider it Justice League.
So, you have a movie for me? Yes, sir, I do. Justice League. Oh, you want to reboot it already? Sure, I guess enough time has passed. Nothing really matters. No, actually, I figure we can release it again, but like a different version. What do you mean? Well, see, there's like this big fan campaign online, right? And people are kind of, shaming us for how bad the 2017 cut was. Oh, that kind of hurts my feelings. I bet. And so, people really want to see what Zack Snyder wanted to do with the movie originally, Okay, so tell me about the script. What's going on in this version? Oh, well, we're going to dive into the characters a whole lot more in this one. How are we going to manage that? By making it 4 hours long. Oh, my God. It turns out you can dedicate a lot of time to characters when your movie's the length of half a workday. That makes sense. So what's going on with Steppenwolf? Is he still after those mother box things in this movie? He is. Amazing. Anything new going on with him? Oh, well, he's much spikier now. Good. And you know how people didn't really like that he was pretty much just evil, like that was his motivation? Uh-huh. Well, in this one, he's trying to kind of prove himself to Darkseid and redeem himself for something he's done. And what's Darkseid's deal? Oh, you're gonna like this. He's pretty much just evil. That's his motivation. Perfect. And so what's going on with the Justice League? Well, we're gonna have a whole lot of Cyborg in this movie. He's practically the main character. Wow, I feel like he was barely in the other version. Did him and Joss Whedon not get along or something? No, they didn't. Oh, I should probably read the news more often. Sure sounds that way. So he's gonna have this big car accident.
He was very
right? And his dad is gonna use a mother box to rebuild.
So real quick, didn't he try to take his career or whatever?
He tried to cut Cyborg out completely because he didn't like him. Yes.
Well,
while Zack Snyder and him.
He
were
didn't
there.
like. It wasn't Cyborg. He didn't like the actor.
No,
He didn't like the actor, but the actor and Zack Snyder are really good friends.
So he didn't get along with the actor.
He didn't get along with
Well,
Joss Whedon, the guy who
I can
took
see that
over
happening
for
in a
the
lot of movies.
2017
Well, apparently
one.
he didn't get along with all the actors to the point where it's like Gal Gadot is now saying that they were consistently being shamed, threatened their careers consistently. Ben Affleck is saying that too. It's like all this shit about Joss Whedon. Like apparently he's a huge douchebag. So,
well,
there we go.
All right, we'll go back to the pitch meeting. Sorry.
Hit play, please.
him. Wow. Oh, and also the Flash is gonna have this big scene involving a car accident. Okay, so we're just kind of sprinkling in some car accident scenes for everybody? No, that'd be kind of repetitive. I was gonna say, no, it's not all car accident scenes. Aquaman gets a boat accident scene. Well, that's a completely different mode of transportation. It is, and also a bunch of women are gonna sing at him, and one of them's gonna smell one of the many sweaters he tosses away in the film. I mean, that sweater's gotta smell like fish, right? Probably smells like fish, yeah. And what about Wonder Woman? What's going on with her? Is she gonna get a plane crash or something? No. Wonder Woman, actually, hold on a second before I get to Wonder Woman. What? There we go. What is that? What? Oh, this is the music that's gonna play when we see Wonder Woman.
You already know.
Okay, I mean, sure, sounds like a great song. Perfect for the first time we see her. It's gonna play every single time. What? Anytime Wonder Woman does anything at all, or any of the Amazons for that matter, we're gonna play that music. Oh, do you think you might be overdoing
true.
it?
This is the worst
Who's to say?
critique of the
Everyone.
movie.
That's definitely too many times to play that. Well, we're gonna play it anytime she does literally anything. All right. So anyway, there's gonna be this terrorist attack at this bank, right? And these bad guys are gonna take some kids hostage and put a bomb on a timer. Oh no. And so Wonder Woman shows up and she finds out that these bad guys don't actually have any demands at all. They just want to blow up 4 city blocks. They just have hostages to stall the police. And why even put a timer? Unclear. So then Wonder Woman throws the bomb up in the sky and blocks a bunch of bullets from the lead terrorist guy. Oh, very cool. Yeah, and then as he's reloading, she explodes him out the side of the building, blows out a whole section of the thing. What? She blows up part of the building she was trying to stop from exploding? Why not just knock the guy out while he was reloading? Because explosions are awesome. Those children had to witness a man explode in front of them. They didn't have to see that. But explosions are awesome. That is a good point. Yeah, okay. So anyway, Batman doesn't want Steppenwolf to get the mother boxes together because then he'll create this thing called a Unity and end the world. So he wants to get the Justice League together. A very good idea. And so Batman and Wonder Woman and Cyborg and Flash, they head into this tunnel to fight Steppenwolf and some of his parademons. Okay. And then Steppenwolf is gonna blow a hole in the tunnel, but it's right under Gotham Harbor. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's pretty scary, but now that water is involved, Aquaman can join in. Was he just treading water outside the tunnel? I guess so. So now all living members of the Justice League are together. Amazing. And then there's gonna be this really nice scene between Martha Kent and Lois Lane where they're talking about their grief over Clark being dead. Oh, that is really nice. But then it's gonna turn out that it was Martian Manhunter pretending to be Martha. Okay, kind of feels like that undercuts the emotion of the last scene. Yeah, but this way we get to see Martian Manhunter. Okay, yeah, worth it. So then the Justice League's gonna realize they can use this mother box that they have to bring Superman back from the dead. Oh boy. Yeah, but he's all confused when he gets back and he gets violent. Oh, a very confused Superman. So then Wonder Woman steps up and she's gonna be like, Kal-El, no. Very convincing. So then Superman's gonna go on a little journey of self-discovery, go hang out with Lois Lane and his mom. Oh, that's nice. And she's gonna be like, are you really you? And he's gonna be like, I'm really me, Ma. Oh, changing your name to me, Ma is tight. No, never mind. Okay. And then Superman's gonna put on a freaking black Superman costume. Why? Because. Nice. So meanwhile, the rest of the Justice League are talking, and they're like, boy, this is gonna be a tough fight. Sure. The Flash is gonna be like, Steppenwolf has probably fought hundreds of thousands of super beings, and we have to assume he's won. Yeah, that's a valid point, definitely. But Batman's gonna be like, yeah, but he's never fought us. Not us united. So, a handful of super beings who just met? It doesn't make a ton of sense, but it's gonna sound very cool. That works for me. So then the Justice League's gonna head off to Russia to fight Steppenwolf. Oh boy, it's gonna be tough to take him down. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh really? You see, Superman's gonna show up and he's gonna punch Steppenwolf so much, just so many times. Very cool. And then Aquaman stabs him and Wonder Woman cuts his head off and they all stop the mother boxes from uniting. Amazing. So then Bruce gets Martha's farm back. You know, the bank was selling it because she was way behind on payments. Oh, so he bought the house from the bank? No, he bought the bank. Well, why didn't you just buy the house? Yeah, it doesn't make a ton of sense, but it's gonna sound cool. It does sound cool. And then Batman's gonna have this huge nightmare scene. It's gonna be the end of the world. He's with Cyborg and Deathstroke. Oh. And Mira is there too, and she's gonna be like, oi, I'm gonna kill that bastard for what he did to Arthur. What, is she British? She is in this movie, yeah. Why? Unclear. Oh, okay. And then we're gonna see that the Joker is there, and he's gonna have this big argument with Batman, and then he's gonna laugh like a seagull.
Like
sure, that may as well happen. It's gonna, and then Bruce is gonna wake up from his nightmare, and Martian Manhunter's gonna swing by and be like, hey, I'm here for any sequels you might be making. Feels a little tacked on. Yeah, tack that right on for you. So what do you think? Well, I mean, it sounds like fans really want to see all this, so sounds good to me. Great. And now we can finally close the book on Justice League and alternate versions and all that stuff. Yeah. Well.
Well, not really.
Hey, everybody, Ryan here.
That was good. That was good. So again,
oh,
you
it's
recommend
so true
you
with
guys
the Wonder Woman music though.
you guys recommend seeing this movie, am I correct?
I do recommend it. It's
I
a great
recommend
movie.
seeing this one.
Yeah, do not see the other one.
Not
if
the
you want to,
2017
it's more of a
one.
compare and contrast. Actually, if you are a filmmaker, I recommend seeing both because
Yes,
it is
I
a
agree.
perfect movie. Because there is no movie out there that they completely just changed 100%. There is no movie that has
It's a
two
great
literal
comparison
versions that
movie.
you can see that it's a completely different thing. Like they have things like Blade Runner where they have different cuts and stuff like that, but it's like small changes.
How about Fun with Dick and Jane?
Well,
That was made twice.
it was made
There's a lot
twice,
of movies made twice.
but it was the exact same movie.
yes,
twice.
same kind of
But it's different plot and different pacing, and why it's interesting as a filmmaker to see how they did it differently, different score, different everything.
What's different than about it isn't the fact that like Fun with Dick and Jane, where you have the old movie and then you have the one with Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
As an example, they weren't pitted against each other.
Yes.
This is a movie that a director turned around and said, I'm gonna correct so all the viewers know that's why the movie was made.
Yeah.
It was a vengeance movie.
Yeah, basically.
And there isn't anything like that.
Yeah, that's new.
That's the difference.
That's new.
That's the difference.
And you know what?
Somebody just trying to redo a story in a different way.
And I think Zack Snyder did a great job, and he did it for his daughter that died, and I feel bad for the dude, but he did it, and I'm proud of him.
So what we're going to close this podcast of Bic Raven. We're going to the next podcast coming up this week. We're going to talk about what we're doing with Your Neck of the Woods.
Yep.
And we'll show the zoo segment.
Yep.
And probably some other stuff too that we have, and of course other things too. So we're going to hold off that for the next podcast. But thank you very much for watching this. Thank you, Spence. Thank you, Tay, for doing all this stuff in the back room there. And we appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.
Have a good one, guys. We'll see you next, whenever we have it, we'll post it, and we'll post it on Facebook.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
There it is.
And YouTube.